Project 369 Tesla Manifestation, the Universe Audiobook. Imagine unlocking a hidden code that could change the way you understand reality itself. What if three simple numbers held the key to the universe? The 369 theory, often associated with Nikola Tesla, is a mysterious concept he believed to be the gateway to understanding the cosmos. According to Tesla, the numbers 3, 6, and 9 aren't just ordinary digits. They represent powerful connections to energy, frequency, and vibration, the very forces that shape our universe. Tesla was deeply fascinated, some would say obsessed, with these numbers. He reportedly walked around buildings 3 times before entering and preferred staying in rooms divisible by 3. To him, this wasn't superstition, it was alignment with a deeper, universal pattern. This idea suggests that while numbers like 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5 represent the physical world, 3, 6, and 9 belong to a higher realm, one tied to spiritual or cosmic energy. In Tesla's view, these numbers weren't just symbols, they were the blueprint of existence itself. Today, this concept has evolved into what many call the 369 manifestation method, a practice linked to the law of attraction, believed to help turn thoughts into reality. So, do you want to learn how to use the 369 manifestation technique? Or are you ready to dive deeper into the science and mystery behind these powerful numbers? If your answer is yes, then welcome to the infinite universe. And before we embark this audiobook, make sure to like and share it as much as possible so it can reach those who haven't yet discovered the magic of 369. And don't forget to subscribe to CliffNote Chronicles. Now let's begin. The journey of the 369 starts with meditation, where everything begins, not outside you, not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet space where your thoughts slow down and your true self finally speaks. I want you to understand this deeply. Before you try to manifest anything, before you write a single affirmation, before you chase any desire, you must first prepare your inner world, because manifestation is not created from chaos, it is born from alignment. So right now, I guide you inward. I don't want you rushing this moment. I want you to feel it, because preparation is not just a step, it is a transformation. You start by choosing stillness. Not just physical stillness, but emotional stillness. You sit or lie down, wherever your body feels safe, supported, relaxed. And for the first time today, you allow yourself to stop performing for the world. And as your body begins to settle, your breath becomes your anchor. Slow inhale, gentle exhale, nothing forced, nothing controlled, just awareness. Because awareness is where consciousness begins to expand, and the moment you become aware of your breath, you step out of the noise and into your power. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think meditation is about stopping thoughts. It's not. It's about observing them, without reacting, without judging, without attaching your identity to them. You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. And as you sit there, breathing, observing, something subtle begins to shift. The tension you didn't realize you were holding starts to melt. The noise that once felt loud begins to fade. And in that silence, your subconscious mind becomes open. This is the doorway. Because manifestation doesn't happen through force, it happens through access. Access to your subconscious, where your beliefs live, where your identity is stored, where your reality is quietly being created every single moment. And now, you're stepping into it. As your breath deepens, I want you to gently bring your attention to your body. Feel your shoulders, release them. Feel your jaw, soften it. Feel your chest, open it. You're not just relaxing your body, you're signaling safety to your mind. And when your mind feels safe, it stops resisting. That's when reprogramming begins. Now imagine a soft frequency, almost like a distant hum, surrounding you. Not loud, not distracting, just a gentle vibration. This is where sound meets energy, where healing frequencies begin to align your internal state. You don't need to understand it logically, just feel it. Because your body understands frequency long before your mind does. And as this subtle vibration flows through you, you begin to release what no longer serves you. Old stress, past doubts, quiet fears you've been carrying. You don't fight them. You don't analyze them. You simply let them pass, like clouds moving through the sky. This is emotional cleansing. And without this step, manifestation becomes heavy, blocked, inconsistent. But with it, you become clear. And clarity is power. Now in this calm, grounded state, I want you to connect with something deeper. Your intention, not what you want out of lack, but what you are ready to become. Because the truth is, you don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. So instead of asking, what do I desire? I want you to ask, who am I becoming? And let that question echo within you. No rush to answer. Just feel into it. Because this is where identity begins to shift, and identity is the foundation of manifestation. As you sit in this awareness, something powerful starts happening. Your thoughts slow down, but your inner vision becomes clearer. This is where visualization naturally begins. Not forced, not imagined with effort, but experienced. You start to see glimpses, feelings, emotions of a version of you that already exists. A version of you who is calm, confident, aligned, abundant. And instead of chasing that version, you begin merging with it. Because manifestation is not about reaching. It's about remembering. Now stay here for a moment. Feel what it's like to already be aligned. Feel what it's like to not need validation, to not doubt yourself, to not question timing. Because in this state, there is no waiting. There is only being. And this is exactly where the 369 method becomes powerful. Because when you come out of this meditation and you begin your affirmations, 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night, you're not just repeating words. You're reinforcing a state, a frequency, a version of you that you've already felt. And that changes everything. Because repetition without emotion is empty. But repetition with alignment becomes creation. Now slowly, bring your awareness back to your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale gently. Feel your body again, grounded, present, aware. And notice this. You didn't chase anything. You didn't force anything. But something inside you shifted. That's the power of preparation. Because before the universe rearranges your external world, it aligns your internal one. And the more you return to this space, this calm, conscious, aware state, the more natural manifestation becomes. Not something you try, but something you live. And as you open your eyes or slowly return to your surroundings, carry this feeling with you, not as a memory, but as your new baseline. Because from here, everything you do next begins to align. Everything is moving. Even when you think nothing is happening, everything is vibrating. Even when you feel completely still. And right here, right now, you are either rising or resisting. I want you to feel that, not just hear it. Because the moment you begin to understand the law of vibration, you stop seeing life as random, and you start seeing it as responsive, alive, and deeply connected to you. And as we continue from that quiet space you created within yourself, that calm awareness, that grounded breath, something becomes clearer. Your inner world is not separate from your outer world. It is creating it. I begin to show you this truth in the simplest way possible. Everything in this universe is in motion. Nothing rests. Not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your body, not even the space around you. It's all energy, constantly shifting, constantly vibrating at different speeds, different frequencies. And now here's where it becomes personal. Because your life is not reacting to what you want. It is responding to the frequency you are living in. So I ask you gently, what are you vibrating right now? Not what you say you want, but what you consistently feel. Because your dominant feeling becomes your dominant frequency, and your dominant frequency becomes your reality. If your thoughts are heavy, doubtful, scattered, your vibration slows down. And when your vibration slows down, your life begins to reflect limitation, confusion, and resistance. But when your thoughts become intentional, calm, and aligned, your vibration rises. And when your vibration rises, opportunities feel closer, clarity becomes natural, and life begins to flow instead of fight you. This is not theory. This is your daily experience, whether you've noticed it or not. And now, as you sit with this awareness, I guide you deeper into understanding what actually controls this vibration. It begins with your thoughts. Every single thought you think carries energy, not just words in your mind, but signals. And those signals influence how you feel, how you act, and ultimately what you attract. But it doesn't stop there, because what you consume also shapes your vibration. The food you eat, the content you watch, the conversations you engage in, all of it feeds your internal state. So if you constantly feed yourself negativity, distraction, or comparison, your vibration reflects that. But if you choose inspiration, growth, and conscious awareness, your vibration begins to shift upward, naturally, powerfully. And here's the truth most people overlook. You are not stuck in one frequency. You are constantly choosing it, moment by moment, thought by thought, reaction by reaction. So instead of feeling trapped by your circumstances, you begin to realize you have influence. And that influence grows stronger the more aware you become. Because awareness is the turning point. When you notice your thoughts, you gain power over them. When you notice your emotions, you stop being controlled by them. And when you notice your patterns, you can finally change them. Now feel into this for a moment. Imagine your entire life as a reflection, not of what you wish for, but of what you consistently are. That might feel confronting at first, but it's also incredibly empowering. Because if your current reality is a reflection, then your future reality is a choice. And this is where the law of vibration connects beautifully with manifestation. Because manifestation is not about forcing something into your life. It's about becoming the version of yourself that naturally aligns with it. And as that idea settles into you, I want you to see how this connects to everything you've been learning. Your meditation prepares your mind. Your visualization shapes your inner experience. Your affirmations reinforce your identity. And your vibration is what ties it all together. This is why repetition matters. Because one positive thought won't change your life, but consistent, aligned thinking will. This is why emotion matters. Because words without feeling carry no frequency, but words with belief transform your entire state. And this is why the 369 method becomes so powerful. Because when you write your manifestation 3 times in the morning, you are setting your frequency for the day. When you write it 6 times in the afternoon, you are reinforcing and stabilizing that frequency. And when you write it 9 times at night, you are embedding that frequency into your subconscious mind, where real transformation begins. And suddenly, it's no longer just writing. It becomes alignment. It becomes identity. It becomes who you are. Now stay with me here, because this is where most people either grow or give up. There will be moments when your external world does not match your internal work. Moments when doubt creeps in. Moments when old patterns try to pull you back. And in those moments, your vibration will be tested. Not by what happens, but by how you respond. Do you fall back into fear, or do you return to alignment? Do you react unconsciously, or do you choose consciously? Because every time you choose alignment, even when it's hard, you strengthen your frequency. And the stronger your frequency becomes, the less external circumstances control you. You begin to feel something new, a sense of stability, a quiet confidence, a deep knowing that doesn't depend on outcomes. And from that place, manifestation becomes inevitable, not rushed, not forced, but natural. Because the universe does not respond to your urgency, it responds to your consistency. It responds to your energy. It responds to your vibration. So I want you to carry this with you, not just as an idea, but as a practice. Pay attention to how you feel throughout your day. Notice what lifts you and what drains you. Become intentional with your thoughts, your habits, your environment. Because every small shift you make changes your frequency, and every change in your frequency moves your life in a new direction. And as you continue walking this path, becoming more aware, more aligned, more intentional, you'll start to notice something subtle but powerful. Life begins to feel different. Not because everything outside has changed, but because you have. And in that change, in that elevated state of being, you realize something you can never unlearn. You were never trying to control the universe. You were learning to align with it. And now, you're starting to feel what that truly means. Now imagine, for a moment, that your body is not just flesh and bone, but a finely tuned instrument, a biological antenna constantly decoding the invisible whispers of the cosmos. Everything in this vast universe is in a state of perpetual motion, vibrating at specific frequencies, and you, my friend, are no exception. As you begin this journey of internal transformation, you must realize that the music you consume and the sounds that surround you are far more than mere entertainment. They are energetic blueprints that can either harmonize or disrupt your very soul. Ancient civilizations understood this mystery, utilizing a set of 6 sacred musical tones known as the solfeggio frequencies. These are not just sounds. They are keys to unlocking deep healing, balance, and a profound sense of divine alignment. When you choose to immerse yourself in these frequencies, you are stepping into a sanctuary of resonance. To truly benefit, I want you to find a quiet place where you can express yourself freely, a space where the outside world falls away. Settle into your most comfortable position, perhaps lying down on a soft couch or resting in your favorite chair, and let the volume remain moderate, like a gentle breeze for your mind. As the tones wash over you, they work to peel back the layers of tension you've carried for years. You might even find that these frequencies become your greatest allies while studying or reading, acting as an anchor for your focus and inspiration. It is important to know that as you listen, you may occasionally feel a flicker of anxiety or a wave of tense emotion. Do not be afraid of this. It is a sign that the frequency is touching something long buried, a part of you that is finally ready to be seen and healed. This is the process of the old making way for the new, a monumental change occurring within your cellular structure. We live in a world that has largely forgotten the sanctity of 432 Hz, the frequency of the universe itself. Most of what you hear on the radio or television today is tuned to 440 Hz, an unnatural standard that lacks the symmetry of sacred vibrations. While 432 Hz is logical, pure, and deeply connected to the mathematics of nature, 440 Hz has been used historically to entrain thoughts toward disruption and disunity, often creating a disconnect between the logical and intuitive hemispheres of your brain. By consciously choosing to expose your body to the solfeggio scale, you are essentially retuning your instrument. You are moving away from hostility and toward a state of sacred logic. Scientists have even begun to explore how sound and light frequencies can modify the very fabric of our DNA, suggesting that what we once called junk DNA might actually be the repository of our supernatural potential, waiting for the right vibration to wake it up. As you move through this frequency-based awakening, let us explore the specific gates these tones can open for you. If you are carrying physical pain or deep-seated tension, the 174 Hz frequency acts as a natural anesthetic, smoothing out the jagged edges of your discomfort. To feel grounded and safe in your physical existence, turn your attention to 285 Hz, which links directly to your root chakra. There are moments when fear and guilt act like heavy chains around your heart. 396 Hz is the vibration of liberation, designed to break those links and set your spirit free. When you are faced with the need to undo a situation or release past trauma, 417 Hz facilitates the energy of change, helping you clear the wreckage of the past to build something new. Perhaps the most miraculous of all is 528 Hz, known as the miracle frequency. This tone is associated with DNA repair and the cleansing of disease, and its power is amplified significantly when you pair it with meditation. If you find your relationships are strained, 639 Hz fosters reconnection and harmony with those around you, while 741 Hz acts as a beacon for problem-solving and self-expression. As you ascend higher into the scale, 852 Hz works to return you to spiritual order, and finally, 963 Hz creates the room for oneness and unity, connecting you back to the source of all that is. However, frequency alone is only half of the equation. To truly manifest the life of your dreams, your affirmations must be fueled by intense belief and clear intent. Think of an affirmation like, I am grateful for everything in my life. If you say these words with doubt, your vibration remains stagnant. But when you feel the truth of those words in your marrow, when you stay true to that I am identity, your tone changes and the universe responds to that shift in your energetic aura. Repetition is the bridge to conviction. By speaking your truths while immersed in these sacred tones, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind on a quantum level. You are no longer just a person wishing for change. You are becoming the very frequency of the thing you desire. This alignment is the spirit of harmony, where your internal world and the external universe conspire together to bring your thoughts to completion. As you begin to vibrate in these higher frequencies, you will notice the bridge of incidents unfolding around you. You might find yourself walking into a diner and bumping into exactly the person who holds the key to your next big success. Or perhaps you see a sequence of numbers, angel signs like 111 or 222, reminding you that you are guided and supported by divine timing. These are not coincidences. They are the physical evidence of your new alignment. You are learning to move with flow rather than force. You are realizing that the quality of your thoughts creates the quality of your life, and that everything you have been searching for is already yours, simply waiting for you to reach the frequency where it can be received. Trust in this process. Trust in the math of the universe. You are an expression of the one universal consciousness, and as you heal and grow, you lift the collective vibration of all humankind. Your destination is not a place you are going to. It is a version of yourself you are choosing to become, right here in the eternal now. Sound is not just something you hear, it's something you become. Frequency is not just around you, it is moving through you. And healing, real, deep, transformative healing, begins the moment you start to listen differently. As you continue from that awareness of vibration, from that realization that everything in your life is responding to your frequency, I want you to now step into something even more subtle, something ancient, something powerful, something that has always been there, quietly shaping your inner world. I'm talking about frequency healing, the kind that doesn't ask you to force change, but invites you to align with it. Because the truth is simple, and once you feel it, it changes everything. Your body understands frequency before your mind ever does. So instead of trying to think your way into healing, you allow yourself to feel your way into alignment. And this begins by creating space. A quiet space where you are not distracted, not pulled, not reacting, just present. I guide you there. You sit or lie down, wherever your body feels safe, supported, and relaxed, and you allow yourself to disconnect from the outside noise, even if just for a few moments. And as you settle in, you begin to notice your breath again. Slow, steady, natural. And in that calm awareness, I introduce something new, a subtle sound, a gentle tone, a frequency that doesn't demand attention but softly surrounds you. This is where solfeggio frequencies begin their work. Ancient tones, used for centuries, believed to carry specific healing properties, not because someone told you they do, but because when you truly listen, you feel the shift. And I want you to trust that feeling, because sometimes, as these frequencies move through you, you might feel peace, a deep, calming stillness you haven't felt in a long time. But other times, you might feel discomfort, tension, emotions rising that you didn't expect. And this is where most people step back. But this is where I want you to lean in. Because that discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is releasing. Old energy, stored emotions, patterns your body has been holding on to, finally being brought to the surface. And healing is not always gentle in the beginning, but it is always freeing. So instead of resisting those feelings, I want you to observe them. Let them pass through you without labeling them, without judging them. Because every time you allow instead of resist, you create space for something new. And as you continue to listen, to feel, to breathe, you begin to notice a shift in your state. Your mind slows down. Your body softens. Your awareness expands. And this is where consciousness begins to elevate. Because consciousness is not just awareness of the world around you. It is awareness of yourself within it. Your thoughts, your emotions, your patterns, your presence. And the more aware you become, the more intentional you can be. Now I want you to understand something deeper. Everything you are, your habits, your reactions, your beliefs, has been shaped by repetition. The thoughts you've repeated, the emotions you've held on to, the patterns you've lived in. And over time, they became your identity. But here's the powerful truth. What was created through repetition can be transformed through repetition. And this is where frequency meets intention. Because when you combine healing frequencies with affirmations, something incredible happens. You're not just saying words, you're amplifying them. You're aligning your thoughts with a state of openness where your subconscious mind is more receptive. So when you say, I am calm, I am aligned, I am abundant, while your body is relaxed, while your mind is quiet, while your frequency is elevated, those words don't just pass through you. They begin to root within you. And this is how subconscious reprogramming begins, not through force, but through alignment. Now, as your awareness deepens, I want you to expand your understanding even further. Because frequency healing is not just about sound, it's about everything you expose yourself to. Every song you listen to, every environment you stay in, every conversation you engage in, all of it carries frequency. And over time, it shapes your internal state. So I ask you gently, what are you surrounding yourself with? Is it noise or is it nourishment? Because the frequencies you choose daily become the life you experience. And as you begin to choose more consciously, something shifts. You become more sensitive, not weaker, but more aware. You start to notice what drains you and what elevates you. You begin to naturally move toward what feels aligned and away from what feels heavy. This is not coincidence. This is growth. This is consciousness expanding. And with this expansion, you start to experience something else. Clarity. Not forced clarity, but a quiet knowing. You begin to understand yourself better. Your desires become clearer. Your direction feels more natural. And in that clarity, your manifestations begin to align faster. Because you're no longer sending mixed signals to the universe. You're aligned internally and externally. Now let's go even deeper. Because frequency healing doesn't just affect your mind and emotions. It connects to something even more profound, your energetic blueprint. There are frequencies believed to support specific aspects of healing and transformation. Some help release fear and guilt. Some support emotional healing. Some align you with love and connection, and some elevate you into a state of unity and higher consciousness. But here's what matters most, not memorizing them, but experiencing them. Because your journey is not about collecting knowledge, it's about becoming aware. And as you continue to listen, to practice, to align, you may begin to notice something subtle, almost mysterious. Moments where things just feel right. Moments where you feel guided, without knowing exactly how. Moments where you see repeating patterns, numbers, signs, synchronicities. And you begin to wonder, is this coincidence? Or is this communication? Because as your frequency rises, your awareness expands beyond logic. You begin to notice the signs the universe has always been sending. Not because they suddenly appeared, but because you are finally in a state to receive them. And this is where trust begins. Not blind trust, but a grounded, calm, faith-driven trust. You begin to understand that everything happening, every experience, every delay, every opportunity, is part of a larger alignment. Divine timing. And instead of rushing, instead of forcing, you begin to flow. You take action, but from alignment, not desperation. You move forward, but with clarity, not confusion. And in that state, manifestation becomes less about effort and more about allowing. Now stay with me here, because this is where everything comes together. Your meditation prepares your mind. Your frequency healing aligns your body. Your affirmations reprogram your subconscious. Your awareness elevates your consciousness. And your belief anchors it all. Because without belief, none of this holds. But with belief, even the smallest shift becomes powerful. So I want you to carry this with you, not as something you try once, but as something you live daily. Create moments of stillness. Expose yourself to frequencies that heal, not harm. Speak words that align, not limit. And most importantly, listen to yourself. Because the more you listen, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more aligned you become. And as you continue this journey, slowly, patiently, consciously, you begin to feel something change, not suddenly, but steadily. A deeper sense of peace, a stronger sense of self, a quiet confidence that doesn't need validation. And in that space, you don't just hear the frequencies anymore. You become them, calm, aligned, abundant, aware. And from that state, everything you seek begins to find you. Friends, words are not just sounds, they are instructions. Thoughts are not just passing moments, they are programming. And the voice you hear the most, the one inside your own mind, is the one shaping your entire reality. And as you carry forward that feeling of alignment, that awareness of frequency, that quiet connection with your inner world, something begins to stand out more clearly. The way you speak to yourself is either building you or silently holding you back. So I bring you closer to this truth, gently but honestly. Your subconscious mind is always listening. Not sometimes, not only when you're focused, but constantly. Every thought you repeat, every belief you hold, every sentence you whisper internally, it all gets recorded, accepted, and eventually reflected back into your life. And this is where affirmations step in, not as empty phrases, not as forced positivity, but as deliberate, conscious instructions you give to your inner world. But I want you to understand something deeper before you begin repeating any words. Affirmations only work when they are felt. Because your subconscious does not respond to words alone. It responds to emotion, to repetition, to belief. So instead of rushing into saying what you should say, I guide you to slow down, to connect, to become present again. Just like before, your breath becomes your anchor. You inhale slowly, you exhale gently, and you allow your body to relax, your mind to soften, your awareness to expand. Because in this state, your subconscious mind opens. And when it opens, it becomes receptive. Now, I want you to bring your attention to the way you've been speaking to yourself lately. Not to judge it, but to notice it. Have your thoughts been supportive or critical? Have your inner words been empowering or limiting? Because whatever you've been repeating, consciously or unconsciously, has been shaping your identity. And identity is what drives your reality. So if deep down you keep telling yourself, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, things never work out for me, your subconscious doesn't question it. It accepts it. And then it organizes your thoughts, your actions, your experiences to match that belief. Not to hurt you, but to stay consistent. Because your mind always seeks alignment between what you believe and what you experience. But now, you are becoming aware. And awareness gives you the power to change the script. So instead of allowing old patterns to repeat, you begin to introduce new ones. Gently, intentionally, consistently. This is where affirmations become your tool. But not just any affirmations, aligned affirmations. Words that reflect the version of you you are becoming, not the version you are leaving behind. And I guide you here with something simple, yet powerful. You begin with I am. Because these two words are not ordinary, they are identity statements. They tell your subconscious, this is who I am. So when you say, I am confident, I am abundant, I am aligned, I am worthy, you are not wishing, you are declaring. And over time, through repetition, your subconscious begins to accept it. But here's where most people stop too early. They say it once, maybe twice, and expect instant change. But remember what we've already understood. Your current beliefs were built through years of repetition. So your new beliefs require consistency, patience, emotion. And this is where the 369 method becomes deeply transformative. Because it gives structure to your repetition. When you write your affirmation 3 times in the morning, you are planting the seed. When you write it 6 times in the afternoon, you are nourishing it. When you write it 9 times at night, you are embedding it into your subconscious mind, where it begins to grow. And here's the key. Don't just write the words. Feel them. Visualize them. Experience them. Because the more real it feels, the faster your subconscious accepts it as truth. So when you write, I am living an abundant, peaceful, aligned life. Don't just see the words on paper. See yourself in that life. Feel the calm, the confidence, the ease. Let your body respond to it. Let your emotions rise with it. Because emotion is what turns repetition into transformation. Now as you continue this practice, something subtle begins to happen. At first, it might feel unnatural. Your mind might resist, it might question, it might bring up doubts. But this is not failure. This is transition. Because you are introducing a new identity, and your mind is adjusting. So instead of stopping, you continue. Gently, patiently, consistently. And over time, those affirmations stop feeling like words and start feeling like truth. You begin to notice changes, not just in your thoughts, but in your reactions. Situations that once triggered doubt now feel manageable. Moments that once created fear now feel neutral. And slowly, your internal state shifts. And when your internal state shifts, your external reality begins to follow. Because your actions change, your decisions change, your energy changes, and the world responds to that change. Now let's take this even deeper. Because affirmations are not just about repeating positive phrases, they are about redefining your self-identity. Who you believe you are determines what you believe is possible for you. So if your identity is rooted in limitation, your life reflects limitation. But if your identity begins to shift toward growth, abundance, alignment, your life expands to match it. And this is where conscious creation truly begins. Not from forcing outcomes, but from becoming the version of yourself that naturally attracts them. So every time you sit down, pen in hand, writing your affirmations, you are not just journaling. You are rewriting your story, line by line, thought by thought, belief by belief. And as you do this, I want you to bring in one more layer, gratitude. Because gratitude amplifies your frequency. It tells your mind, this is already mine. So as you write your affirmations, feel grateful for them, as if they are already part of your life. Because this is what it means to live in the end. Not waiting for something to happen, but embodying it now. And in that state, manifestation accelerates. Not because you're chasing it, but because you are aligned with it. Now stay with this feeling for a moment. Feel the calm, the certainty, the quiet confidence building within you. This is not temporary. This is the beginning of a new pattern, a new identity, a new way of being. And the more you return to this practice, this intentional repetition, this emotional alignment, this conscious awareness, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, you no longer need to remind yourself who you are. You simply know. And when you know, you no longer doubt. You no longer chase. You no longer question your worth. You move differently. You think differently. You feel differently. And life responds differently. So as you continue forward, keep your words intentional. Keep your thoughts aligned. Keep your beliefs strong. Because the voice within you is not just speaking, it is creating. And now, you are finally choosing what it creates. Close your eyes for a moment and realize that your mind is the most powerful workshop in the entire universe, a place where the intangible threads of thought are woven into the very fabric of your physical reality. Because I want you to understand that everything you see around you began first as a flicker of imagination before it ever became a fact. We are traveling through a landscape of consciousness where your internal vision acts as a divine blueprint. And as we move deeper into this experience, I want you to embrace the truth that you are not just a spectator of your life, but the conscious creator who holds the pen to your own story. When you begin the practice of visualization, you must do more than just see a distant picture on a screen. You must let your emotions run wild and surge through your entire being, allowing yourself to feel exactly how you would feel once you have already received what you have been asking for. This emotional resonance is the language of the universe, and once your subconscious mind has determined or accepted that a vision is real, it has no choice but to begin the process of bringing that desire into your physical life. You might find that this manifestation takes a single day, or perhaps it unfolds over weeks or even months. But you must hold steady in the knowing that the more you have faith and stay true to your ideal self, the greater the chance that your dreams will arrive much quicker than you ever anticipated. As this inner vision takes root, you might notice that quiet moments of stillness become your greatest source of power, leading us naturally into the sacred practice of meditation, which serves as a powerful mirror reflecting the internal landscape of your soul. Meditation is not just about silence. It is the primary tool that helps you identify and dismantle your abundance blocks, those hidden walls we often call manifesting blocks that can quietly hold you back during the creation process. Through the lens of a meditative state, visualizing becomes a way to attract your desires with greater speed and precision, because in these moments, you are learning to communicate directly with your higher self, that divine spark within you that already knows the path to your fulfillment. Every breath you take in this state is a step toward alignment, a way of seeing your divine self and merging your current identity with the version of you that already lives in abundance. It is within this peaceful sanctuary of the mind that the bridge between the seen and the unseen is built, allowing you to walk across it with confidence and grace. This grand vision of your life is supported by the tiny, rhythmic choices you make every single hour, the subtle micro-habits that form the foundation of your daily existence and dictate the frequency at which you vibrate. These little habits you exhibit every day are the engine of your transformation, helping you stay in an ideal state of flow across every area of your life, ensuring that you remain focused, aligned, and inspired even when the world outside feels chaotic. Your vibration is a living thing, fueled by the consistency of your inspired action and your unwavering alignment toward your vision, which is why your dedication to a method like Project 369 is so vital to your success. You must realize that the universe operates on its own clock, and it will deliver exactly what you want when the timing is perfect, often requiring a level of patience that tests the strength of your belief. I have personally faced moments where I failed hundreds of times before success finally knocked on my door, but in reality, I refused to consider those moments as failures because I was simply learning the lessons I needed to grow. No matter how many times a door seemed to close, I held on to the absolute conviction that what I wanted was already mine, trusting that every event on the bridge of incidents was part of a divine harmony leading directly to the materialization of my desires. Success in this journey is not about winning every single battle, but about believing with your whole heart that you cannot lose the ultimate prize, because everything you are asking for is already finished and waiting for its delivery to your doorstep. You must stay true to yourself and cast out every shadow of doubt, recognizing that the preparation you are undergoing right now is just like financing a vehicle, where each day of belief is a payment made toward the final ownership of your dream. Once the preparation is complete and the energetic price is paid through your faith, the manifestation becomes yours in the physical world, turning into a tangible reality that you can touch and hold. This journey is a continuous evolution, a movement from the quiet whisper of an intention to the loud, vibrant roar of a life fully realized. And as you maintain this consistency, you will find that the universe begins to mirror your inner world with breathtaking accuracy. You are becoming a master of your own energy, a visionary who understands that the eyes of the mind see much further than the eyes of the body. And as we flow forward, you are shedding the old skin of limitation to reveal the powerful creator beneath. Every visualization you hold, every meditation you complete, and every micro-habit you master is a ripple in the quantum field, and these ripples are gathering strength to bring a wave of abundance into your experience. Feel the weight of that truth, breathe it in, and know that you are moving in perfect step with the universe, guided by a timing that is never late and a harmony that is never broken. This is your time to bloom, to stand in the light of your own creation, and to witness the magnificent beauty of a thought brought to completion through the power of your own unwavering belief. Friends, stillness is not emptiness, it is connection. Silence is not absence, it is guidance. And faith, real, unshakable faith, is built in the moments when nothing outside you seems to be changing, yet everything inside you is. And as you continue forward from that awareness of your inner voice, from the realization that your words are shaping your identity, something deeper begins to call you, a space where all of it comes together, not as effort, not as technique, but as a way of being. This is where meditation, alignment, and faith merge into one continuous experience. I guide you back to that space again, not as something new, but as something familiar now. You sit or lie down, and you allow your body to relax, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, completely. Because meditation is not something you do, it is something you return to, a return to yourself. And as your breath slows down, naturally, gently, you begin to feel the noise fade. Not disappear completely, but lose its control over you. Because for the first time, you are not chasing your thoughts. You are observing them. And in that observation, something powerful happens. You create space. And in that space, alignment begins. Now I want you to understand alignment in the simplest way possible. Alignment is when your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are moving in the same direction. Not scattered, not conflicted, but unified. Because many times, people say they want something, but internally, they doubt it. They visualize success, but feel fear. They repeat affirmations, but carry disbelief. And that misalignment creates resistance. But when you enter meditation, when you slow down, when you become aware, you begin to notice these contradictions. Not to judge them, but to gently correct them. So instead of forcing yourself to believe something instantly, you start by calming your system. Because a calm mind is an open mind, and an open mind is a receptive mind. Now as you sit in this calm awareness, I want you to bring your attention to your heart. Not physically, but emotionally. What are you feeling right now? Not what you think you should feel, but what is truly there. Because alignment doesn't start with pretending, it starts with honesty. If there is doubt, acknowledge it. If there is fear, observe it. If there is uncertainty, allow it. Because the moment you stop resisting your current state, you create the possibility to shift it. And now, slowly, gently, you begin to guide your state. Not force it, guide it. Through your breath, through your awareness, through your intention, you begin to introduce a new feeling. Calm, trust, openness. And as that feeling grows, even slightly, you hold on to it. Because this is where alignment begins, not in perfection, but in direction. Now from this aligned state, I guide you into visualization, but not the kind where you strain to imagine something. Instead, you allow it to unfold. You see yourself already living the life you've been affirming. Not chasing it, not waiting for it, but already in it. And as you see it, I want you to feel it. The ease, the confidence, the peace, the quiet certainty. Because this is what it means to live in the end. Not hoping it will happen, but embodying it now. And as you sit in this feeling, something begins to deepen within you. Faith, not forced belief, not blind optimism, but a calm, grounded knowing. A knowing that does not depend on evidence. A knowing that does not need validation. A knowing that simply exists. And this is where most people struggle, because they look for results before they believe. But manifestation works the other way around. You believe, and then reality follows. So I guide you here into a state where you trust, even when you don't see immediate change. Because faith is not tested when things are going well. It is strengthened when they are not. And every time you choose to stay aligned, even when doubt appears, your faith grows stronger. Now let's connect this with everything you've been building. Your meditation calms your mind. Your awareness reveals your patterns. Your affirmations reshape your identity. Your visualization creates your inner experience, and your alignment brings all of it into harmony. But without faith, this process feels uncertain. With faith, it becomes inevitable. So I ask you gently, can you trust the process? Can you trust that even when things seem delayed, they are aligning? Can you trust that even when you don't see movement, something is shifting beneath the surface? Because just like a seed grows underground before it becomes visible, your manifestations are forming quietly, patiently, precisely. And your job is not to dig up the seed every day to check if it's growing. Your job is to nurture it through belief, through alignment, through consistency. Now, as you sit in this state, I want you to bring in one more layer. Surrender. Not giving up, but letting go of control. Because control comes from fear, but surrender comes from trust. And when you surrender, you stop forcing outcomes. You stop chasing timelines. You stop questioning every step. And instead you allow. You take action when it feels aligned. You rest when it feels right. You move forward with clarity, not pressure. And in that flow, life begins to support you. You notice synchronicities, small signs, moments of guidance that feel almost too perfect to ignore. And you begin to realize you are not doing this alone. There is a larger intelligence, a universal flow, guiding, supporting, aligning everything for you. But it only becomes visible when you slow down enough to notice it. So I guide you to stay here, in this calm, aligned, faith-driven state. Not as a temporary practice, but as a daily return. Because every time you meditate, you reconnect. Every time you align, you strengthen your frequency. Every time you choose faith, you move closer to your reality. And slowly, naturally, effortlessly, you begin to change. Not just in what you think, but in who you are. You become more patient, more aware, more grounded, more certain. And in that state, you no longer feel the need to rush. Because you understand something deeply now. What is meant for you is already on its way. And your only role is to stay aligned enough to receive it. So as you gently bring your awareness back, as your breath becomes a little more active, as your body reconnects with the present moment, carry this feeling with you, not as something fragile, but as something real. Because this calm, aligned, faith-filled state is who you are becoming. And the more you return to it, the more your life begins to reflect it. Until one day, it no longer feels like practice. It simply feels like you. You know nothing is random, even when it feels like it. Nothing is silent, even when no words are spoken. And the universe is always communicating. You've just been learning how to listen. And as you continue from that space of trust, from that calm alignment you've been building, something begins to shift in the way you experience the world around you. You stop seeing life as a series of disconnected events, and you start noticing patterns, subtle signals, quiet nudges that seem to appear at just the right moment. At first, you might question it. You might tell yourself it's coincidence, imagination, or just your mind trying to make sense of things. But as your awareness deepens, as your frequency rises, these moments begin to feel different, more precise, more personal, more aligned with what you've been thinking, feeling, or asking for. And this is where I gently guide you to open your perception, because the universe doesn't always speak in loud, obvious ways. It often whispers, through repetition, through synchronicity, through timing that feels almost too perfect to ignore. You might start noticing repeating numbers. 111, 222, 369, appearing in places you didn't expect, on a clock, on a receipt, on a random screen. And each time you see them, there's a subtle pause within you, a feeling that this moment means something. And instead of dismissing it, I want you to stay with that feeling. Because these patterns are not there to confuse you, they are there to awaken your awareness. They remind you, you are connected. They remind you, you are aligned. They remind you, you are being guided. Now understand this clearly. These signs are not here to control your decisions. They are here to support your awareness. Because the more aware you become, the more intentional your actions become. And the more intentional your actions become, the more aligned your life feels. So when you see these repeating patterns, don't just look at them. Feel into your current state. What were you thinking just before you saw it? What were you feeling? What decision were you about to make? Because often, the sign is not separate from you. It is a reflection of your alignment in that moment. A quiet confirmation. Now, as you continue observing, you may also begin to notice synchronicities in your experiences. Meeting the right person at the right time. Hearing the exact message you needed without searching for it. Opportunities appearing just as you begin to believe in yourself. And these moments, they don't feel forced. They feel natural, effortless, as if something larger is gently guiding things into place. And this is where your faith begins to deepen, not because someone told you to believe, but because you've experienced something that logic alone cannot fully explain. But I want to keep you grounded here, because it's easy to misunderstand this. The universe is not sending you signs so you can avoid action. It's not here to replace your responsibility. It's here to align with your movement. So instead of waiting for signs before you act with alignment, and then you notice the signs that follow. Because action and awareness, they work together. Now let's bring this back to you, to your journey. As you continue your manifestation practice, your affirmations, your visualization, your meditation, your frequency begins to stabilize. You become clearer, more focused, more intentional. And in that clarity, the noise fades. And when the noise fades, the signals become easier to recognize. So what once felt like confusion now feels like direction. What once felt like randomness now feels like alignment. And slowly, you begin to trust your own intuition more. Because here's the deeper truth. The most important sign you will ever receive is how something feels within you. Not outside validation, not external approval, but your internal response. Because your intuition is your direct connection to alignment. And the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. So when something feels right, even if it doesn't make complete sense, you lean into it. When something feels off, even if it looks perfect on the surface, you step back. And this is how you begin to move with the universe instead of against it. Now there will be moments where you ask for clarity and nothing seems to appear. Moments where you look for a sign and you don't see one. And in those moments, your faith will be tested again. But I want you to understand something important. Silence is also a message. Sometimes, the absence of a sign is an invitation for you to trust yourself, to make a decision, to take a step forward without needing confirmation. Because true alignment is not dependency, it is connection. And connection includes trust, both in the universe and in yourself. So instead of doubting in those moments, you stay grounded. You return to your breath, your awareness, your inner state. Because everything you need is already within you. And as you continue this journey, something beautiful begins to unfold. You no longer chase signs, you notice them. You no longer question every step, you trust your direction. You no longer feel disconnected, you feel supported. And in that state, manifestation becomes less about asking and more about allowing. Now I want you to take a moment and reflect on your own experiences. Think about the times something worked out unexpectedly, the times you felt guided, even without clear reason, the moments where everything aligned without force. Those were not accidents. Those were moments of alignment, moments where your frequency, your intention, your belief, all came together, and the universe responded. And now, you are becoming more conscious of it, which means you can begin to experience it more often, not by forcing signs to appear, but by staying aligned enough to recognize them. So I guide you forward with this awareness. Stay present, stay open, stay aligned. Continue your practices, your affirmations, your visualization, your meditation, not just as routines, but as ways to stay connected. Because the more connected you are, the clearer everything becomes. And as you walk this path, calmly, consciously, intentionally, you begin to feel something shift within you. A quiet sense of trust, a deep sense of knowing, a peaceful understanding that you are not alone in this journey. And in that feeling, you stop searching so hard. You stop questioning every step. You simply move with awareness, with belief, with alignment. And somehow, everything begins to meet you there. Not loudly, not dramatically, but gently, consistently, exactly when you're ready to see it. Open your eyes to the whispers of the cosmos, because the universe is not a silent bystander in your journey. It is a constant, rhythmic communicator waiting for you to simply tune into its frequency. I want you to realize that those coincidences you've been noticing, the ones that make your heart skip a beat or send a sudden chill down your spine, are actually the most obvious signs the universe could ever give you. And I am here to tell you that you have likely already experienced them without even knowing their true power. These are known as angel signs, appearing as the same numbers repeating over and over again in your daily life. And they are not mere accidents. They are direct connections to divine vibrational frequencies. Whether you see them in the middle of a passionate conversation, during a moment of deep creativity, or even through the heavy fog of your hardest days, these numbers are there to offer you guidance and a sense of deeper meaning in your unique journey. You will know this as a fact when you feel your very vibration being lifted, perhaps experiencing goosebumps or intense emotions like crying out of pure joy or excitement when these numbers repeatedly cross your path. While only you can know what they truly mean for your specific path, as the divine rarely sends the exact same message unless we are channeling collectively, I can help you understand the broader language of these celestial signals. Imagine seeing 0, 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 0, 0 flashing before you. And I want you to feel the weight of infinity, a sign that the divine is acknowledging a powerful transformation or the birth of a new beginning on your path. When you see 1, 111, or 1111, the universe is pointing directly at you in your I am presence, acting as a divine reminder to stay loyal to your faith and a confirmation that your vision is already supported by spiritual guidance. If 2, 222, or 2222 appears, it is a call for balance and divine harmony, perhaps a signal that everything is perfectly aligned or a gentle nudge to prioritize yourself if you have been giving too much of your energy away to others. The appearance of 3, 333, or 3333 is a message of spiritual completion, a sign that you are fully aligned with your higher purpose and are on the very verge of finishing something truly amazing. I want you to listen closely to these numbers, for as the saying goes, when you ask the universe for signs, you must never ignore them when they finally show up. As we flow deeper into this cosmic dialogue, the numbers continue to paint a picture of wholeness, where 4, 444, or 4,444 reminds you to take care of your vessel and trust that divine timing is working its magic even when you cannot see the results yet. If your eyes catch 5, 555, or 5,555, the universe is swinging open doors of opportunity, and it is your sacred job to step through them onto the path being prepared for you. You might see 6, 666, or 6666 and feel a momentary hesitation, but I want you to understand that this is simply the divine guiding you through your affirmations, highlighting areas of your life that need your focus to bring back a sense of positivity and spiritual health. When 7, 777, or 7,777 illuminates your reality, the universe is acknowledging your dedication to your higher purpose and perhaps signaling a profound new spiritual awakening. The vibration of 8, 888, or 8,888 is a roar of abundance, a promise that what you have given out will return to you multiplied in money, love, and passion, while 9, 999, or 9,999 represents the final exhale of an old cycle and the vibrant inhale of a brand new journey. This journey we are on together is one where time is not a master but a servant, and divine timing is the rhythm that ensures every manifestation arrives precisely when you are ready to receive it. I want you to sink into the peaceful realization that you do not need to force the universe to move faster, because every number you see and every sign you feel is a confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. You are learning to read the hidden language of existence, transforming from a wanderer into a conscious traveler who knows how to navigate the invisible currents of energy. Feel the empowerment in knowing that you are never truly alone, that the universe is constantly conspiring to reveal the truth to you through these divine signals. As you continue to move through your day, keep your heart open and your awareness sharp, because the next sign is already on its way, carrying the frequency of your wish fulfilled. This is the art of living in harmony with the divine, a seamless flow where your intentions and the universe's timing merge into one magnificent reality. You are the main character in this cosmic story, and every repeating number is a round of applause from the stars, encouraging you to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep manifesting the beautiful life that is already yours. Imagine, for a moment, that your heart is a powerful radio transmitter, broadcasting a signal across the vastness of the cosmos, because I want you to realize that the law of attraction is not limited to career goals or material wealth. It is the very fabric of how we connect, how we resonate, and ultimately, how we find the person who mirrors our own divine spark. You might have asked yourself if it is truly possible to manifest a specific person or a perfect partner, and while the answer is a resounding absolutely, the journey begins with a profound inward turn that most people often overlook in their haste to find connection. I want you to understand that the emotional qualities of a partner are far more significant than their physical appearance. Because while looks are a never-ending game and will eventually fade into the background, the way someone makes you feel is a vibration that remains eternally constant. Before you can hope to draw a soulmate into your physical world, you must first become the primary source of love in your own life, loving the person you are destined to be and releasing every limitation you have ever placed upon your heart. Through the lens of faith, there are no leagues, and there are no barriers, for you are the creator of your own social reality, and the only limitations that exist are the ones you choose to carry with you. As this self-love begins to radiate from your core, you will find that the bridge of incidents can work with breathtaking speed, potentially bringing your soulmate into your path as early as tomorrow, provided you stay true to your ideal self and refuse to let indecision or doubt consume your spirit. I want you to stop hoping to meet your soulmate one day and instead move into the powerful vibration of knowing, trusting that divine perfection will arrive precisely when the timing is right. It is so easy to be brainwashed by the expectations and opinions of others, but I am here to remind you that others do not possess your heart, nor are they vibrating on your unique love frequency. They cannot know what you truly want or how you feel. When you place the vision of an ideal relationship into your subconscious mind, you are effectively shifting your current frequency to match the resonance of that union. And because your subconscious cannot tell the difference between your imagination and physical reality, it will begin to align your behaviors and your environment with that wish fulfilled. If you desire someone who makes you feel happy, joyful, and loved, you must begin to embody those very frequencies yourself. Because in the mathematics of the universe, what you want truly wants you back. Think of your relationships as an externalized reflection of your own inner state, where being lightheartedly focused on your own joy translates into a self-acceptance that others can't help but find magnetic. By maintaining your ideal state of mind, you realize that people are actually looking for the same depth and quality of relationship that you are seeking, and they will naturally align with you when they see someone who knows what they want and pursues it with unwavering clarity. To deepen this manifestation, I want you to take a moment to write down 9 essential qualities you desire in a partner, and then I want you to live as if that person is already by your side. Whether you are single or already in a relationship, continue this practice of visualization, and if your partner is currently imaginary, do not worry about putting a face on them, but instead focus on the feeling of their presence. Take them with you to dinner, go for walks together, and watch movies as if they are right there, because this immersive exercise puts you in the exact vibration status required to attract that frequency into your life. The universe is always listening to the rhythm of your heart, and it will deliver what you desire the very moment you are truly ready to receive it. So make your relationship with yourself your highest priority and watch as everything else falls into its perfect place. You are learning that love is not a chase, but a homecoming to your own divine frequency. And as you resonate with the I am of your highest self, the external world has no choice but to reflect that beauty back to you in the form of another soul. Trust in the cinematic unfolding of your life, knowing that every breath of self-appreciation is a call that your soulmate is already answering in the unseen realm. You are becoming the person you would want to fall in love with, and that alignment is the most powerful magnet in the universe, pulling your divine perfection toward you with an irresistible and harmonious force. Feel the warmth of that arrival now. Breathe it into your reality, and walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who knows that love is not a mystery to be solved, but a frequency to be lived. Listen this carefully. You cannot rise above yourself until you accept yourself. You cannot attract deeply until you feel deeply worthy. And the love you keep searching for has always been waiting within you. And as you continue from that quiet trust in signs, from that awareness that something greater is guiding you, a deeper realization begins to unfold. All of this alignment, all of this manifestation, all of this transformation, it rests on one powerful foundation, the relationship you have with yourself. Because no matter how many techniques you use, no matter how consistent your affirmations are, no matter how clearly you visualize, if deep inside you feel unworthy, disconnected, or incomplete, your outer reality will always reflect that subtle resistance. So I guide you here, not to fix yourself, but to meet yourself. Fully, honestly, gently. Self-love is not a trend. It is not surface-level positivity. It is not pretending everything is perfect. Self-love is awareness, acceptance, and conscious choice. It is the ability to look at yourself, your strengths, your flaws, your past, your patterns, and still choose not to reject who you are. And I want you to understand this clearly. You don't become worthy when you achieve something. You don't become enough when you prove something. You are already enough, but you have been conditioned to forget it. And this forgetting has been shaping your thoughts, your reactions, your beliefs, quietly, consistently. So now, this journey becomes about remembering. And that remembrance begins in the simplest way, by noticing how you treat yourself. Not how you treat others, but how you speak to yourself, how you respond to your own mistakes, how you handle your own emotions. Because if your inner voice is constantly critical, constantly comparing, constantly doubting, then no external success will ever feel like enough. But when your inner voice becomes supportive, patient, understanding, something shifts. You begin to feel safe within yourself. And when you feel safe within yourself, you stop seeking validation outside. And this is where your frequency begins to rise, naturally, effortlessly. Because love is one of the highest frequencies you can embody. Not love for something outside you, but love for your own being. Now I guide you into this gently. You don't force yourself to feel love instantly. You start with acceptance. You sit with yourself, just like you have been doing in meditation, and you observe your thoughts, your emotions, your patterns. And instead of pushing them away, you allow them. Because every part of you, even the parts you don't like, are asking to be seen, not rejected. And as you begin to accept these parts, something softens. The resistance fades. The tension releases. And in that space, love begins to grow. Not loud, not dramatic, but quiet, steady, real. Now from this space of self-acceptance, your affirmations begin to feel different. When you say, I am worthy, I am enough, I am deserving of love and abundance, it no longer feels like you're convincing yourself. It begins to feel like you're reminding yourself. And that shift is powerful, because reminders strengthen belief, while force creates resistance. Now as your self-love deepens, your consciousness begins to expand. Because higher consciousness is not about escaping reality. It is about seeing it more clearly, understanding yourself more deeply, becoming aware of the patterns that once controlled you, and choosing differently. And this awareness, it changes everything. You begin to respond instead of react. You begin to observe instead of judge. You begin to choose instead of repeat. And in that space, you are no longer living unconsciously. You are creating consciously. Now I want you to see how this connects to everything you've been building. Your meditation created awareness. Your affirmations reshaped your thoughts. Your visualization expanded your imagination. Your alignment stabilized your energy. And now, your self-love anchors it all. Because without self-love, growth feels exhausting. But with self-love, growth feels natural. It becomes a journey, not a struggle. And as you continue this journey, something beautiful begins to happen. You stop chasing external validation. You stop comparing your path. You stop measuring your worth based on outcomes. Because you realize your value is not something you earn. It is something you recognize. And from that recognition, your actions begin to change. You set better boundaries. You make choices that align with your well-being. You walk away from what drains you and move toward what nourishes you. Not out of ego, but out of respect for yourself. And this is where your vibration aligns with abundance. Because abundance is not just money or success or external achievement. Abundance is a state, a feeling of fullness, a sense of peace, of enoughness, of quiet confidence. And when you feel abundant within, you begin to attract abundance outside, effortlessly. Now let's go even deeper. Because as your consciousness expands, your perception of life begins to shift. You start to see challenges differently, not as punishments, but as lessons, not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. And this perspective, it frees you. Because instead of resisting what happens, you learn from it. You evolve through it. You become stronger, wiser, more aligned. And in that process, your connection with yourself deepens even more. Now I want you to bring your awareness to something very simple, but very powerful. Forgiveness. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. For the times you doubted yourself. For the times you stayed in situations that didn't serve you. For the times you didn't believe in your own worth. Because holding on to guilt, shame, regret, keeps your energy heavy. But forgiveness releases it. It lightens you. It frees you. And as you forgive yourself, you create space for a new identity to emerge. One that is not defined by the past, but aligned with your present awareness. And from this place, your manifestation becomes clearer, stronger, more aligned. Because you are no longer carrying old energy into new intentions. You are creating from a clean, open, elevated state. Now stay with this feeling for a moment. Feel the calm. Feel the softness. Feel the quiet strength within you. This is not something you need to search for anymore. This is something you are becoming. And the more you nurture this relationship with yourself, the more everything else begins to align. Your connections, your opportunities, your direction. Because the universe reflects your internal state. And when your internal state is rooted in love, awareness, alignment, your external reality begins to mirror that. Not instantly, not perfectly, but consistently. And as you continue forward, slowly, consciously, intentionally, you begin to realize something deeply comforting. You were never lacking anything. You were simply learning to see yourself clearly. And now, as that clarity grows, as that love deepens, as that awareness expands, you no longer feel the need to become someone else. You simply allow yourself to fully be. And in that space, everything you've been seeking no longer feels distant. It feels like it's already a part of you. There is a pattern hidden in plain sight, a rhythm beneath reality, a code that doesn't shout, but quietly shapes everything. 3, 6, 9, not just numbers, but a sequence, the flow, a doorway into alignment. And the moment you begin to feel them, not just understand them, something inside you starts to organize, to harmonize, to awaken. And as you carry forward that deep sense of self, that growing love within, that expanded awareness of who you are becoming, this is where it all begins to take form, where the abstract becomes practical, where the invisible begins to express itself through simple, intentional action. I bring you closer now to the power of 3, 6, and 9, not as a mystery to chase, but as a rhythm to embody. Because everything you've been experiencing, your thoughts, your emotions, your alignment, now needs a structure, a pattern that allows it to flow consistently into your life. And this is exactly what this sequence offers you. I want you to see it not as magic numbers, but as a cycle of creation. 3, the beginning. 6, the strengthening. 9, the completion. And when you understand this flow, manifestation stops feeling random and starts feeling intentional. So I guide you into this gently. In the morning, when your mind is still soft, still quiet, still open, you write your intention 3 times. Not rushed, not distracted, but present. Because this is where you plant the seed. This is where you tell your subconscious, this is who I am becoming. This is the reality I am choosing. And as you write, I want you to feel it. Not just the words, but the meaning behind them. Because in that moment, you are setting your frequency for the day. Now as your day unfolds, as life begins to move, as distractions appear, as responsibilities pull your attention, you return again. This time, 6 repetitions. Not just to repeat, but to reinforce. Because the world around you will test your alignment. It will show you old patterns, old triggers, familiar doubts. But this moment, this practice, brings you back. It reminds you of your intention, your identity, your direction. And with each repetition, your belief becomes stronger. Not forced, but stabilized. And then, as the day begins to close, as your body slows down, as your mind begins to quiet again, you complete the cycle. 9 repetitions. And this is where the transformation deepens. Because at night, your subconscious mind becomes most receptive. The barrier between conscious thought and subconscious belief becomes softer. And what you repeat in this state begins to integrate more deeply. So when you write your affirmation 9 times, you are not just closing the day. You are embedding a new reality within yourself. Now here's where it becomes powerful. This is not just about writing. It is about alignment across your entire being. Your thoughts must match your words. Your emotions must support your intention. Your actions must reflect your belief. Because when all of these align, your frequency becomes clear, strong, undeniable. And the universe responds to clarity, not confusion. So instead of writing different desires every day, you stay focused. You choose one intention, one identity, one direction, and you stay with it. Because repetition is what transforms possibility into reality. Now I want you to go even deeper with this. As you write your affirmations, don't just say what you want, say who you are. I am abundant. I am aligned. I am confident. I am attracting the life meant for me. Because manifestation is not about getting, it is about becoming. And the more you identify with your affirmation, the faster your reality begins to reflect it. Now as you continue this practice, something subtle begins to happen. At first, it feels like effort. You remind yourself. You focus. You repeat. But over time, it becomes natural. Your thoughts begin to shift automatically. Your reactions begin to change. Your energy begins to stabilize. And suddenly, you are no longer trying to stay positive. You are aligned. And from that alignment, life begins to respond. You notice opportunities appearing. You notice your confidence growing. You notice situations working out, not by force, but by flow. And this is where the true power of 3, 6, and 9 reveals itself. Not as a technique, but as a rhythm you live by. A rhythm that keeps you connected, consistent, conscious. Now I want to bring your awareness to something important. Patience. Because even with perfect alignment, manifestation takes time. Not because it's delayed, but because it's unfolding. Just like a seed needs time to grow, your intentions need time to materialize. But here's the difference now. You are no longer waiting with doubt. You are moving with trust. You are not questioning every moment. You are staying aligned through it. And that changes everything. Because when you stop interrupting the process with doubt, things begin to flow more smoothly. Now let's connect this with everything you've experienced so far. Your meditation created stillness. Your awareness expanded your consciousness. Your affirmations reshaped your identity. Your self-love elevated your frequency. And now, this method gives it structure, consistency, direction. And as all of these elements come together, you are no longer just practicing manifestation. You are living it. You are thinking intentionally, feeling consciously, acting with alignment, and trusting deeply. And in that state, manifestation is no longer something you hope for. It becomes something you expect, not from arrogance, but from understanding. Because you now see the connection between your inner world and your outer experience. You feel it. You trust it. You live it. So as you continue this journey, I want you to stay committed to this rhythm. Morning, set your intention. Afternoon, reinforce your belief. Night, embed your identity. And in between, live as if it's already yours. Think like it. Feel like it. Act like it. Because this is what it means to live in the end. Not waiting for proof, but embodying it now. And as you do this, day after day, gently, consistently, consciously, you begin to notice something shift. Not suddenly, but steadily. Your reality starts aligning with your inner state. Your desires begin to feel closer, more real, more natural. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to close. Not because you chased it, but because you became it. And in that moment, quietly, effortlessly, you realize the power was never in the numbers alone. It was always in you, learning how to align with them. There are truths hidden in plain sight, patterns that most people look at, but never truly see. There is a language beneath reality, not spoken in words, but in energy, frequency, and vibration. And some minds, rare, deeply aware minds, don't just observe this language, they live it. And as you carry forward that rhythm of 3, 6, and 9, as you begin to feel how your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are aligning into something more intentional, more conscious. I want to take you deeper into the origin of this understanding, not as history, but as insight, something you can actually apply, something you can embody. Because what you are learning is not new. It has always existed, but only a few have truly understood how to use it. I bring you into this awareness slowly, not to overwhelm you, but to expand you. Everything in this universe operates on energy, not metaphorically, but literally. What you see as solid is vibrating. What you feel as emotion is energy moving through you. What you think is a frequency being broadcast. And the moment you truly accept this, not just intellectually, but experientially, you begin to see life differently. You stop seeing separation, and you start seeing connection. You stop feeling powerless, and you begin to recognize influence. Because if everything is energy, then everything is responsive. Now stay with me here, because this is where it becomes personal. Your thoughts are not private, they are powerful. Not because they magically change the world instantly, but because they consistently shape your internal state. And your internal state shapes how you show up in the world. And how you show up determines what you experience. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What am I consistently thinking, feeling, believing that is creating this pattern?" And that question shifts you from victim to creator. Now I want you to understand something deeper, something that most people overlook. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about thinking aligned thoughts. Because forcing positivity while feeling doubt creates conflict. But aligning your thoughts with your emotions creates clarity. And clarity is what the universe responds to. So when you use the 369 method, when you repeat your affirmations, when you visualize your desired reality, you are not trying to convince the universe. You are aligning yourself. You are becoming a match. And this is where the real transformation happens. Because manifestation is not about pulling something toward you. It's about becoming the version of yourself that naturally attracts it. Now let's go even deeper into this idea of frequency. Every emotion you feel carries a vibration. Fear, doubt, insecurity, they contract your energy. Love, trust, gratitude, they expand it. And the state you spend the most time in becomes your baseline frequency. So if you are constantly stressed, worried, or uncertain, your energy reflects that. And life responds accordingly. But when you begin to intentionally shift your emotional state, through awareness, through breath, through alignment, your frequency begins to rise. And when your frequency rises, your perception changes. You notice opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You feel clarity where there was once confusion. You act with confidence where there was once hesitation. And these small shifts, they compound. Now I want you to connect this with something you've already been practicing. Meditation. Because meditation is not just about relaxation, it is about recalibration. It brings you back to your natural state, a state of presence, of awareness, of alignment. And in that state, you are no longer reacting to life. You are consciously creating within it. Now combine this with your affirmations. When your mind is calm, your subconscious becomes open. And when your subconscious is open, your words carry more power. So when you say, "I am aligned, I am abundant, I am attracting the life meant for me," you are not just repeating phrases, you are imprinting a new identity. And identity is the foundation of reality. Because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe you are. Now I want to bring your awareness to something even more subtle. Patterns. The universe moves in patterns, cycles, rhythms. And when you align with these rhythms, life begins to feel less chaotic and more fluid. This is why consistency matters. Not perfection, but consistency. Because every time you return to your practice, your meditation, your affirmations, your visualization, you are reinforcing a pattern, a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, a new way of being. And over time, that pattern becomes natural. It becomes who you are. Now here's where it becomes even more powerful. As your awareness expands, you begin to notice things you didn't see before. Synchronicities, moments of perfect timing, conversations that feel guided, ideas that come effortlessly. And instead of dismissing them, you recognize them as alignment. Not something outside of you, but something you are part of. And this recognition builds trust. Not blind belief, but grounded trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your process. Trust in the flow of life. And with that trust, you begin to let go of control. Not your actions, but your attachment to outcomes. Because you understand something now. Your job is not to control the entire path. Your job is to stay aligned on the path. And when you do that, the next step reveals itself. Not all at once, but exactly when you are ready. Now I want you to bring this all together. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your actions, your awareness. They are not separate. They are all part of one system. Your system. And the more aligned that system becomes, the more powerful your manifestation becomes. not because you are forcing reality, but because you are flowing with it. And as you continue this journey, something shifts within you. You stop chasing answers, and you start trusting your awareness. You stop forcing outcomes, and you start aligning your energy. You stop questioning your worth, and you start embodying it. And in that shift, everything begins to change. Not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily, naturally, because you are no longer trying to control the universe. You are learning to understand it, to feel it, to move with it. And in that movement, in that quiet, consistent alignment, you begin to realize something that changes everything. The secrets were never hidden from you. They were waiting for you to become aware enough, calm enough, aligned enough to finally see them. Your reality is a mirror of your internal broadcast, a shimmering reflection of the invisible currents you choose to inhabit. Because as Nikola Tesla famously whispered to the ages, if you truly wish to understand the secrets of the universe, you must begin to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I want you to feel the weight of that truth right now, sitting in the center of your consciousness, realizing that you are not a solid, stagnant object, but a dynamic field of energy that never truly rests. Every doubt you harbor, every shift in your mood, and every flicker of a thought is a change in your frequency, and it is often our inability to hold one singular vision for an extended time that pulls us off our intended path. A new thought is quite literally a new frequency, and to master the art of manifestation, you must learn to align yourself with one desire, finish that thought with total conviction, and only then move toward the next stepping stone of your enlightenment. I know that math can sometimes feel cold or distant, but I want you to see it through my eyes, as a universal language that we did not create, but rather discovered, a divine law that remains the same whether you are on Earth or the furthest star. Think of the binary system, the very pattern of life itself, doubling from 1 to 2, then 4, 8, 16, and 32, which in the sacred reduction of digits always creates a repeating pattern of 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. Yet, within this biological dance of cells and embryos, the numbers 3, 6, and 9 remain mysteriously absent, standing beyond the physical pattern as if they are the governing architects of the grid. When you double 3, you find 6. When you double 6, you find 12, which returns to 3, but 9 stands alone, unique and powerful, always returning to itself no matter how many times it is doubled. This is why I speak of 9 as the unity of everything, the symbol of the universe itself, and why the sequence of 3, 6, and 9 represents the bridge between our 5 senses and the divine energy that is far more significant than our physical bodies can fully elaborate. As we travel deeper into this cosmic harmony, you will begin to see that these numbers are woven into the very fabric of your daily existence, marking the rhythm of the time you keep and the space you occupy. Consider the ticking clock. 24 hours in your day reduces to 6, 60 minutes in your hour reduces to 6, and 60 seconds in your minute reduces to 6, creating a rhythmic pulse that mirrors the 3, 6, and 9 vibration. Even the physical dimensions of our world whisper this secret to you, from the diameter of the sun and the moon to the very speed of light, all reducing to the powerful vibration of 9. The universe frequency itself, that pure tone of 432 Hz that is fundamental to the mathematics of nature, adds up to that same divine 9. When you align your thoughts with these numbers, you are quite literally tuning your receiver to the core of the universe, the place where all knowledge, strength, and inspiration reside. I want you to imagine your brain as a sophisticated receiver in this vast ocean of energy, reaching out into a core of secrets that exists just beyond the veil. By understanding that 3, 6, and 9 are the keys to energy, frequency, and vibration, you are no longer just guessing at how to create your life. You are using the blueprint of the cosmos. Every time you write down your manifestation, every time you anchor your I am identity, you are participating in a sequence that causes unity with the divine. You are learning to move beyond the limitations of what you can see and touch, stepping into the power of what you can feel and vibrate. This is the magnificent reality of your existence. You are a part of the math, a part of the frequency, and a part of the infinite energy that holds everything together. As you sit in this newfound awareness, let the anxiety of how and when dissolve into the background, because you now understand that your only job is to maintain the vibration of the thing you desire. You are becoming a conscious conductor of your own life's symphony, choosing the tones that lead to harmony rather than discord. Feel the resonance of the universe within your own chest, a humming reminder that you are perfectly synchronized with the laws of creation. There is a peace that comes with this knowledge, a steady faith that because the math of the universe is perfect, your manifestation must also be perfect when it arrives in your physical world. You are walking the path that Tesla walked, peering into the secrets of the core, and as you do, the world around you will begin to shift and shimmer to match the high frequency of your soul. You are the key, you are the receiver, and you are the magnificent energy that is bringing your dreams into the light of the eternal now. Now, I want you to look deep within and realize that you are the architect of your own atmosphere, the hands that hold the key to the universe itself. Because Project 369 is not just a journal, it is a gateway that reveals your true identity as the creator of your own reality. Over the next 30 days, you and I are going to embark on a journey of reprogramming your conscious and subconscious mind on a quantum level, understanding that whatever we plant in that fertile subconscious soil and nourish with the water of repetition and the sun of emotion will one day bloom into a physical fact. It all begins with a single thought, but the moment you press pen to paper and write that thought down, you are pulling it from the ether and bringing it into physical existence. You must believe, with every fiber of your being, that whatever you write down is already yours, because without that belief, the manifestation cannot take root and your very identity becomes irrelevant through disbelief. When you are writing, I want you to speak only the language of the present, using words like I have or I am, and never I need or I want, because needing something only affirms the frequency of its absence. As you step into this practice, focus your energy on one single manifestation at a time until your thought is brought to total completion, staying in full alignment as you move through the various goals that lead toward your ultimate destination. For the first 3 days, we will align your internal compass by writing down the deep desires you have already circled, ensuring you know exactly where you are going before the journey truly accelerates. Beyond those initial days, you might focus on short-term goals, knowing that while long-term dreams may not appear overnight, every small victory adds up to a state of divine harmony where you wake up one day and realize your thoughts are positive, your vision is clear, and you are finally at peace with your past. I want you to be specific, to be clear, and to replace every limiting belief with the full, vibrant expectation that the universe will deliver exactly what you ask for the moment the timing is right. Every morning, you will start by writing your manifestation 3 times, closing your eyes to visualize having exactly what you asked for while answering 2 critical questions. Who are you? And where are you going? When you answer, who are you? I want you to affirm your worth, saying, I am a positive being, aware of my potential, and worthy of having what I want. When you answer, where are you going? You are defining your path, stating, I am becoming the best version of myself, or I am going to my destination in a calm and relaxed state, knowing what I want is already mine. As the sun reaches its peak in the afternoon, you will return to your paper and write your manifestation 6 times, feeling the energy shift as you visualize yourself holding the gift of your efforts, embracing it as a tangible truth. Finally, as you prepare for the world of sleep, you will write your manifestation 9 times, entering the most powerful window of all, where you can carry those intense emotions of excitement into your dream state until you drift off. This daily rhythm is supported by the 9 affirmations you will write to align with your new I am identity, a practice that becomes even more powerful if you choose to scan the barcodes and listen to the frequencies that dissolve your abundance blocks. I encourage you to look toward the wisdom of those who have mastered these fields, intellectuals like Neville Goddard, Earl Nightingale, and Joseph Murphy, who remind us that we can acquire any quality we desire simply by acting as though we already have it. You are not alone in this. We are all expressions of a collective consciousness, and when you fulfill your purpose, you are helping all of humankind move into a higher vibration. Remember that even if you face temporary defeat, you must not quit, because failure is often just a mask for preparation. You are the creator, so start creating today, stay true to your vision, and never let anyone or anything stand between you and the magnificent life that is already yours. Consistency creates power, not intensity. Small daily actions shape massive life shifts. And the life you keep imagining begins the moment you start living it every single day. And as you carry forward that deeper understanding of energy, that awareness of patterns, that quiet trust in how everything is aligning, this is where everything becomes real, grounded, lived, because knowing is not enough anymore. Now it becomes about doing, about embodying, about creating a rhythm that your life can follow. I guide you into something simple but transformative, your daily manifestation ritual. Not something complicated, not something overwhelming, but something intentional, something you can return to, no matter what your day looks like. Because manifestation is not a one-time act, it is a daily state of being. It begins the moment you wake up, before the world enters your mind, before your phone, before conversations, before distractions. There is a small window where your mind is quiet, open, receptive. And this moment is powerful. So instead of rushing into your day, I want you to pause, just for a few minutes. You sit up, you take a breath, slow, steady, grounding. And before any thought takes over, you choose your state. Not based on yesterday, not based on what you fear, but based on what you are creating. This is where your intention begins. You bring your affirmation into your awareness, the one you've chosen, the one that reflects your identity, and you write it 3 times. Slowly, consciously. I am aligned with abundance. I am confident and at peace. I am creating the life meant for me. And as you write, you feel it. Even if it's subtle, even if it's just a small shift, you allow yourself to experience it. Because this is not about perfection, it is about direction. Now as your day begins, as responsibilities come in, as people interact with you, as situations unfold, this is where your real practice begins. Because it's easy to feel aligned in silence. But true growth happens in movement. So I guide you to stay aware. Not overthinking, just observing. How are you reacting? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Because every moment is an opportunity to return to alignment. If something triggers you, you pause. You breathe. You don't react immediately, you respond consciously. And this small shift changes everything. Because instead of repeating old patterns, you create new ones. Now, somewhere in the middle of your day, when your energy feels scattered, when your focus feels pulled in different directions, you return again. This is your reset. You take a few minutes, step away if you can, and reconnect. You write your affirmations 6 times, not as a task, but as a reminder, because the world can easily shift your state, but this moment brings you back. It stabilizes your frequency. It strengthens your belief. And as you write, I want you to reconnect emotionally. Feel the version of you who already has what you desire. See how you move, how you speak, how you carry yourself. Because this is how you begin to live in the end, not later, but now. Now as the day continues, I want you to carry one simple awareness. Act as if, not pretending, but embodying. If you are becoming confident, make decisions with confidence. If you are becoming peaceful, choose calm responses. If you are becoming abundant, think from a place of enough, not lack. Because your actions are extensions of your belief. And when your actions align with your affirmations, your identity begins to solidify. Now as your day comes to a close, as everything slows down, as your mind begins to quiet again, this becomes one of the most important moments of your practice. Because at night, your subconscious is open, receptive, absorbing. So instead of ending your day with distraction, with random thoughts, with stress, you return once more. You sit, you breathe, you relax your body. And then you write your affirmation 9 times. This is not repetition, this is imprinting. Because what you focus on before sleep shapes your subconscious patterns. And those patterns shape your reality. So as you write, I want you to go deeper than before. Feel gratitude, as if it has already happened, as if your life is already aligned, as if everything is already working in your favor. Because gratitude amplifies your frequency. It tells your mind, this is real. Now as you close your eyes, don't rush to sleep. Stay in that feeling just for a few moments. Visualize your life, not as something distant, but as something present. See yourself living it. Feel the emotions. Let it become familiar. Because the more familiar it feels, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it becomes, the faster it manifests. Now I want you to understand something clearly. This ritual is not about doing more. It is about being consistent. Because even if you do it for a few minutes, but you do it every day, it creates momentum. And momentum creates transformation. There will be days when you don't feel like it. Days when your mind resists. Days when nothing seems to be changing. And in those moments, your commitment matters more than your motivation. Because manifestation is not built on feelings alone. It is built on discipline, aligned action, and trust. So even on those days you show up, even if it's simple, even if it's quiet, even if it's not perfect, because consistency is what rewires your subconscious. Now as you continue this daily rhythm, something begins to shift. At first, it feels like effort. You remind yourself. You bring your awareness back. You consciously choose your thoughts. But over time, it becomes natural. You don't need to remind yourself as much. You don't get triggered as easily. You don't fall into old patterns as quickly. Because your baseline has changed. Your identity has shifted. And from that shift, your reality begins to reflect it. Now you start noticing things. Opportunities appearing. People responding differently to you. Situations aligning more smoothly. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you did. And the world is responding to that change. So I guide you to stay with this, not as a phase, but as a lifestyle. Your morning, your awareness, your alignment, your night routine. They are not separate actions. They are one continuous flow. A rhythm that keeps you connected to yourself. And the more connected you are, the clearer everything becomes. So as you move forward day by day, calmly, consciously, consistently, you begin to feel something deeper than excitement, deeper than motivation. A quiet certainty, a grounded confidence, a peaceful knowing that you are on the right path. And in that state, you are no longer chasing your reality. You are living it, one aligned day at a time. It's already yours before you see it. It's already unfolding before it appears. And the moment you stop waiting is the moment everything begins to arrive. And as you continue from that rhythm of daily alignment, from those quiet rituals that have slowly begun to reshape your thoughts, your emotions, your identity, I bring you into one of the most powerful shifts you can make, the shift from hoping to knowing. Because up until now, you have been preparing. You have been clearing your mind, aligning your energy, repeating your affirmations, trusting the process, and all of that has been building something within you. Now, you begin to live from it, not as an idea, but as a state. Living as if it's already yours is not pretending. It's not forcing yourself to believe something unrealistic. It's not ignoring your current reality. It is something much deeper, much more grounded. It is the ability to align your internal state with your desired reality before your external world fully reflects it. And I want you to feel that difference. Because most people wait for proof before they believe. They wait for results before they feel confident. They wait for change before they act differently. But manifestation does not respond to waiting. It responds to embodiment. So instead of asking, "When will this happen?" you begin to ask, "Who do I need to be if this is already mine?" And that question changes everything. Because now you are no longer focused on time. You are focused on identity. So I guide you into this gently. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of you who already has what you desire. Not just the outcome, but the state. How do you think? How do you feel? How do you respond to challenges? How do you carry yourself in everyday situations? Because this version of you is not separate from you. It is a version you are stepping into. And now you begin to align with it. Not all at once, but moment by moment. When you wake up, instead of checking what's missing, you feel gratitude for what's already forming. When you face a challenge, instead of reacting with fear, you respond with calm confidence. When doubt appears, instead of feeding it, you return to your belief. Because you are no longer operating from lack. You are operating from alignment. Now I want you to understand something important. This does not mean your life becomes perfect instantly. It does not mean challenges disappear. It means your relationship with those challenges changes. You no longer see them as signs that things are not working. You see them as part of the process, part of the alignment. Because when you are truly living as if, you trust the journey, not just the outcome. And that trust, it stabilizes you. It keeps you grounded, even when things are uncertain. Now as you continue practicing this, something subtle begins to shift. At first, it feels like effort. You remind yourself. You bring your awareness back. You consciously choose your reactions. But over time, it becomes natural. You start thinking like your future self, automatically. You start feeling aligned without forcing it. You start making decisions from a place of confidence instead of fear. And this is where manifestation accelerates. Because your internal state is no longer contradicting your desire. It is supporting it. Now let's connect this to everything you've been building. Your affirmations are no longer just words. They are reflections of who you are being. Your visualization is no longer imagination. It is memory of a state you are living. Your meditation is no longer practice. It is your baseline. And your daily actions are no longer random. They are aligned. And when all of this comes together, you are no longer trying to manifest. You are embodying your manifestation. Now I want you to take this even deeper. Because living as if is not just about your mindset. It is about your behavior. If you are becoming abundant, you treat your time, your energy, your resources with respect. If you are becoming confident, you speak with clarity. You make decisions without hesitation. If you are becoming peaceful, you choose calm over chaos, presence over distraction. Because your actions send signals, not just to the world, but to your own subconscious. And every aligned action reinforces your identity. Now there will be moments where your current reality does not match your internal state. Moments where doubt tries to return. Moments where things feel slow. And in those moments, this is where your practice becomes real. Do you fall back into old patterns? Or do you stay aligned with who you are becoming? Because this is the difference between temporary change and transformation. Transformation requires consistency, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's unclear, even when it's slow. But here's what I want you to hold on to. Every moment you choose alignment, you are strengthening your reality, even if you don't see it immediately. Because just like everything you've learned, change begins internally, and then it reflects externally. Now, as you continue living this way, something beautiful begins to happen. You stop feeling like you are waiting. You stop checking for results. You stop questioning every step because you feel it. You feel the shift within you, a quiet confidence, a calm certainty, a deep knowing that you are already on the path, already aligned, already becoming. And from that state, life begins to respond. Opportunities feel natural. Connections feel aligned. Timing begins to make sense, not because you forced it, but because you became it. So I guide you to stay here, in this state of embodiment, in this quiet knowing, in this aligned identity, not as something you visit occasionally, but as something you return to daily. Because the more you live as if, the less you feel the need to chase. And the less you chase, the more things begin to flow toward you. Until one day, without a dramatic moment, without a sudden realization, you look around and you notice you are no longer imagining that life. You are living it. Everything is already working in your favor, even when you cannot see it. There is an order behind the chaos, a rhythm beneath every delay, a quiet intelligence guiding every step. And abundance is not something you chase, it is something you align with. And as you carry forward that state of living as if, as you begin to feel that subtle shift from wanting to having, from hoping to knowing, I want to take you deeper into something even more expansive, something that transforms not just what you attract, but how you experience life itself. Divine harmony, not as an abstract idea, but as a living, breathing reality you can step into. Because everything you've been practicing, your thoughts, your affirmations, your visualization, your daily rituals, they are all leading you here. To alignment, to flow, to a state where life no longer feels like a struggle, but like a collaboration. So I want you to pause for a moment and feel this. What if nothing in your life is random? What if every delay, every challenge, every unexpected turn is not blocking you, but guiding you? Because when you begin to see life through this lens, something inside you softens. You stop resisting. You stop forcing. You start trusting. And trust is the foundation of harmony. Now I bring your awareness to abundance, not as money, not as possessions, but as a state of being. Because true abundance is not measured by what you have, but by how you feel. Do you feel open or restricted? Do you feel grateful or lacking? Do you feel supported or alone? Because your answers to these questions define your frequency, and your frequency defines your reality. So if you are constantly focused on what is missing, your energy contracts. You feel tension. You feel urgency. You feel like you need to chase. But when you begin to focus on what is already present, what is already working, what is already unfolding, your energy expands. You feel calm. You feel supported. You feel aligned. And from that alignment, abundance flows naturally. Now I want you to understand something deeper. Abundance is not something the universe gives you randomly. It is something you allow, through your belief, through your openness, through your alignment. So when you say, I am abundant, it is not a wish. It is a recognition, a remembering. Because abundance is your natural state, before fear, before doubt, before conditioning. And your journey is not about creating abundance. It is about removing everything that blocks it. Now let's connect this with your daily practice. Every time you choose gratitude, you are opening a channel. Every time you release control, you are creating space. Every time you trust the process, you are strengthening your alignment. And these small shifts, they compound. Now I guide you into something even more powerful. Divine timing. Because one of the biggest challenges on this path is impatience. The feeling that things should happen faster, that results should appear immediately. But what if timing is not something you control? What if it is something you align with? Because just like a seed cannot be rushed to grow, your manifestations cannot be forced into existence. They unfold when you are ready, not just externally, but internally. So delays are not denials. They are preparations, moments where your belief is being strengthened, where your identity is being refined, where your alignment is becoming stable. And when you begin to trust this, truly trust it, you stop feeling frustrated. You start feeling patient, not passive, but grounded, because you know everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Now I want you to bring this awareness into your daily life. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of reacting, you pause. You breathe, and you ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this guiding me? Because every experience carries a message, not always obvious, but always present. And when you begin to look for that message, you stay in alignment. Now, as you continue this journey, something beautiful begins to happen. You start noticing signs, not because they suddenly appear, but because your awareness has expanded. You notice repeating numbers, moments of synchronicity, unexpected opportunities, conversations that feel perfectly timed. And instead of dismissing them, you recognize them as confirmation. Not something outside of you, but something you are co-creating. Because when you are aligned, life communicates with you. Through moments, through feelings, through intuition. And the more you trust these signals, the clearer they become. Now I want to bring your focus back to something simple, but powerful. Your state. Because at the end of everything, manifestation, abundance, alignment, it all comes down to how you feel. Not occasionally, but consistently. So I guide you to choose your state intentionally, not based on circumstances, but based on creation. If you want peace, you choose calm. If you want abundance, you choose gratitude. If you want love, you choose openness. Because your state is your signal, and your signal shapes your reality. Now, as you continue aligning with this, something shifts within you. You stop seeking validation. You stop comparing your journey. You stop questioning your worth. Because you feel it. You feel your alignment. You feel your growth. You feel your connection. And from that place, abundance is no longer something you hope for. It becomes something you expect. Not from arrogance, but from understanding. Because you now see the connection between your inner world and your outer experience. You feel it. You trust it. You live it. And as you stay in this state, gently, consistently, consciously, life begins to reflect it. Opportunities flow. Relationships deepen. Clarity expands. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. So I guide you to remain here, in this space of trust, in this rhythm of alignment, in this quiet understanding that everything is working with you, not against you. Because the more you align with divine harmony, the more effortless your life begins to feel. Not perfect, but peaceful. Not controlled, but guided. Not forced, but flowing. And in that flow, you begin to realize something that changes everything. Abundance was never outside of you. It was always waiting for you to finally align with it. You are not here to react. You are here to create. You are not here to chase reality. You are here to shape it. And the moment you realize this, everything begins to shift. And as you carry forward that deep sense of harmony, that quiet trust in timing, that expanding awareness that abundance is not something outside of you, but something flowing through you, I want you to step into the most powerful realization of all, the realization that you are the creator of your reality, not in a distant, mystical way, but in a grounded, practical, everyday way. Because everything you have been learning, your thoughts, your emotions, your affirmations, your visualization, your alignment, they are not separate tools. They are parts of one system, your creative system. And now, you begin to use it consciously. I guide you to look at your life, not as something happening to you, but as something responding to you. Every thought you repeat becomes a pattern. Every emotion you hold becomes a signal. Every belief you carry becomes a filter. And together, they shape how you see the world, how you act in it, and what you experience from it. So instead of asking, why is my life like this? You begin to ask, what am I consistently creating within myself? Because that is where your power is. Not outside, not in circumstances, but within your awareness. Now I want you to understand something clearly. Being the creator of your reality does not mean controlling everything. It means taking responsibility for your internal world. Because your internal world is what influences your external experience. So when you feel stuck, you don't immediately try to change everything around you. You go within. You observe your thoughts. You notice your patterns. You become aware. And awareness is where creation begins. Now, as you deepen this awareness, you start to see something interesting. Most of your thoughts are not conscious. They are automatic. They come from past experiences, from conditioning, from repeated patterns. And if you are not aware of them, they continue to create the same reality again and again. So your first step as a creator is not action. It is observation. You watch your thoughts without judgment. You notice what you believe without resistance. And in that space of awareness, you create choice. Because once you see a pattern, you can change it. Now this is where your practices come in. Your affirmations are not just positive statements. They are tools of reprogramming. They replace old patterns with new ones. They shift your identity. They redefine who you believe you are. And when your identity changes, your reality follows. Now I guide you to take this even deeper. Because thoughts alone are not enough. Emotion is what gives them power. So when you think something, but feel the opposite, your signal becomes mixed. And mixed signals create inconsistent results. But when your thoughts and emotions align, your signal becomes clear, strong, focused. And this clarity is what accelerates manifestation. So I want you to practice feeling your affirmations. Not just saying them, but embodying them. If you say, I am confident, feel that confidence in your body. If you say, I am abundant, feel that openness, that ease, that trust. Because your body does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It responds to feeling. And feeling programs your subconscious. Now let's bring this into your daily life. Because being a creator is not something you do only during meditation or during your rituals. It is something you live in your decisions, in your reactions, in your habits. Every moment is an opportunity to create. So when something unexpected happens, instead of reacting automatically, you pause, you breathe, and you choose your response. Because that choice is creation. Now I want you to understand something even more powerful. Your environment does not define you. You influence your environment through your state. So instead of waiting for things to change around you, you change within. You shift your thoughts. You elevate your emotions. You align your actions. And as you do that, your environment begins to respond. Not instantly, but inevitably. Now as you continue practicing this, something begins to shift. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. You start feeling like you are participating in it, co-creating it, shaping it. And with that shift comes confidence. Not loud, not forced, but quiet and grounded. Because you know you have influence. Now I want to connect this with something you've already experienced. Your daily manifestation rituals. Your 3, 6, 9 practice. Your meditation. Your visualization. All of these are not separate actions. They are ways of strengthening your creative ability. Each time you practice, you are reinforcing your identity as a creator. Each time you stay aligned, you are strengthening your signal. Each time you trust the process, you are deepening your connection. And over time, this becomes natural, effortless. You no longer need to remind yourself constantly. You begin to think differently, automatically. You begin to feel aligned naturally. You begin to act consciously without forcing it. And this is where true transformation happens. Now I want you to take this awareness even further. Because being a creator also means letting go. Letting go of control. Letting go of attachment. Letting go of the need to know how everything will happen. Because your role is not to control every detail. Your role is to align your state. And when your state is aligned, the path reveals itself. Step by step, moment by moment. Now there will be times when things don't go as expected. Moments where doubt tries to return. Moments where your old patterns feel strong. And in those moments, this is where your identity is tested. Do you fall back into old thinking? Or do you stay aligned with who you are becoming? Because every time you choose alignment, you strengthen your reality, even if you don't see immediate results. Now, as you continue this journey, something beautiful begins to unfold. You start to trust yourself more. You start to listen to your intuition. You start to feel guided rather than lost. And this guidance, it becomes your compass. Because being a creator is not about forcing life. It is about flowing with it consciously. Now I bring you back to something simple but powerful. Your identity. Because at the core of everything, you do not get what you want. You get what you believe you are. So if you see yourself as someone who struggles, life reflects that. If you see yourself as someone who is aligned, abundant, capable, life reflects that. So your work is to become, not to chase, not to force, but to embody. And as you embody, your reality begins to shift. Slowly, steadily, naturally. Until one day, you look at your life and you realize you are no longer trying to create it. You are living it. And in that moment, quietly, deeply, you understand something that changes everything. You were never separate from your power. You were simply learning how to use it. There is more within you than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. More power, more clarity, more creation waiting quietly beneath the noise. You are not limited by your past. You are not defined by your current reality. You are expanding, evolving, awakening into something far greater. And your infinite potential is not something you earn. It is something you remember. And as you carry forward everything you have felt so far, the alignment, the awareness, the quiet confidence of becoming the creator of your reality, I guide you into the deepest layer of this journey, the awakening of your true potential, not as a distant idea, but as a living experience that begins right now, within you. Because potential is not something you reach one day. It is something you activate in moments, in small choices, in subtle shifts, in the way you think, feel, and respond, even when no one is watching. So I want you to slow down for a moment and really feel this. What if the version of you that you dream about, the confident one, the abundant one, the aligned one, is not in the future? What if that version already exists within you, waiting for your awareness to catch up? Because awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about removing everything that is not you. The doubt, the fear, the limiting beliefs that were never truly yours. And as you begin to release these layers, something natural begins to emerge. Clarity, confidence, a sense of direction that doesn't feel forced, but guided. Now I guide you deeper into this awareness. Your subconscious mind holds patterns, stories, repetitions that have been running quietly for years. And most of the time, you don't even notice them. But they shape your reactions. They shape your beliefs. They shape your reality. So awakening your potential begins here. With awareness, you start observing your thoughts, not judging them, just noticing. You see the patterns. You recognize the moments where you doubt yourself, where you hesitate, where you hold back. And instead of resisting, you become conscious. Because consciousness is the doorway to change. Now, as you become aware, you begin to choose. You replace old thoughts with intentional ones. You introduce affirmations, not as empty words, but as new instructions. I am capable. I am aligned. I am stepping into my highest potential. And as you repeat them daily, consistently, you are not just speaking, you are reprogramming. Because your subconscious listens to repetition. And when repetition is combined with emotion, it becomes powerful. So I guide you to feel your words. Not just say them. Feel the confidence. Feel the possibility. Feel the expansion within you. Because your potential is not activated through logic. It is activated through belief. Now let's go deeper. Visualization. Because your mind does not separate imagination from reality. When you see something clearly, when you feel it deeply, your brain begins to accept it. So I want you to create moments every day where you close your eyes and step into your future, not as something distant, but as something present. You see yourself succeeding, growing, living the life you desire. And more importantly, you feel it, because feeling is what anchors the experience. Now, as you continue this, something shifts. Your mind becomes familiar with this version of you. And what is familiar feels natural. And what feels natural becomes your reality. Now I bring you into something even more subtle, your energy. Because everything you think and feel carries a vibration. And that vibration influences how you show up in the world. So if you are constantly doubting, your energy reflects that. If you are confident, aligned, open, your energy reflects that. And the world responds accordingly. So awakening your potential is not just mental. It is energetic. You begin to notice your state. You begin to shift it intentionally. Through breath, through presence, through awareness. And slowly, your baseline changes. Now you are not reacting unconsciously. You are choosing consciously. Now I want you to connect this with your daily practices. Your 369 method. Your affirmations. Your meditation. They are not separate steps. They are tools of awakening. Each time you write your affirmations, you are reinforcing your identity. Each time you meditate, you are clearing space. Each time you visualize, you are expanding your reality. And together, they activate your potential. Now there will be moments where you feel resistance. Moments where your old self tries to return. Where doubt whispers, where fear appears. And in those moments, I want you to remember this. Growth is not comfortable. Expansion is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because every time you choose to stay aligned, even when it's difficult, you are stepping deeper into your potential. Now I guide you into something even more powerful. Self-belief. Because at the core of everything, your potential depends on what you believe about yourself. Not what others say, not what you've experienced before, but what you choose to believe now. So I ask you, do you believe you are capable? Do you believe you are worthy? Do you believe you can create the life you desire? Because if there is hesitation, that is where your work begins. Not through force, but through consistency. Through showing up for yourself daily. Through choosing belief, even when it feels uncertain. Because belief builds over time. And once it becomes strong, it becomes unshakable. Now as you continue this journey, something beautiful begins to unfold. You start to feel different. More aware, more present, more connected. You start noticing opportunities, ideas, moments that feel aligned. And instead of questioning them, you follow them. Because your intuition becomes clearer, stronger, guiding you. Now I want you to understand something important. Your potential is infinite, but your focus gives it direction. So instead of trying to do everything, you choose what matters. You align your energy with your intention. You stay consistent. And that consistency creates momentum. Now as momentum builds, your confidence grows. Your actions become clearer. Your results begin to reflect your alignment. Not instantly, but steadily. And in that steady growth, you realize something powerful. You are no longer the person you used to be. You have changed, expanded, awakened. Now I guide you to stay grounded in this awareness. Because awakening is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process, a journey of becoming. So you stay present, you stay mindful, you stay aligned, and you trust that every step is part of your growth. Now as you continue forward, living consciously, thinking intentionally, feeling deeply, your life begins to transform, not through force, but through alignment. And in that alignment, your infinite potential is no longer something you wonder about. It becomes something you live, something you express, something you embody every single day. And in this quiet, powerful state, you realize you were never lacking anything. You were simply learning how to awaken what was already within you. And as this journey continues to unfold within you, as your awareness deepens and your alignment strengthens, if this audiobook has touched something real inside you, something meaningful, something transformative, then take a moment to support this energy. Like and share this audiobook so it can reach others who are still searching, still waiting, still unaware of the power of 3, 6, and 9. And subscribe to Cliff Note Chronicles for more immersive audiobooks on manifestation, self-growth, and conscious living, because your growth is just beginning, and there is so much more waiting for you.